So Meta has just purchased Manus, right? Manus for $2 billion. Now, the reason why this story is interesting is because this is the first time a American big tech giant has acquired a tech company with Chinese roots. So it started off in China, then they moved to Singapore, but it's got Chinese roots, and they've purchased Manus for $2 billion, right?
Like, it's not even a year old. It's 8 months or 10 months. Imagine.
So I know in just a few months, it blew up to like $100 million in annual recurring revenue. Have you used Manus?
No.
I have.
Manus is a menace. Bro.
What is it?
Tell us a little bit, Sheikh. Give us a 2-minute overview. I think we'll help the audience as well.
Okay, so
He's always on all the AI stuff. He's always like...
I'm just new to, look, I can't lie, it's that
you
brother.
love this stuff.
It's the brother Mohamed Asmal, bro. He put me on. Like, brother, I've been telling you guys. Oh, it's your friend. It's your friend.
He's like, brothers, we're telling you. You're the one who introduced me.
The one he told me about. Yeah, I've been telling you. Basically, look. So you know agents, right? There's this whole thing of AI agent. What's an AI agent? An AI agent is basically, for lack of a better term, and I'm gonna explain it in layman terms how I understand it. Pardon me for not using specific, actual, like official, description. But it's basically you give a prompt to the computer, then the computer starts to do things autonomously for you. It can book flights for you. It can go into Twitter for you and tweet a tweet on your behalf. It can go into a shop and put items in a basket and check out and buy them for you. Right? So all these agents were taban, bro. That I've seen. Even ChatGPT, OpenAI made their agent, bro. It was rubbish.
Yeah.
Manus, here's what it does. It's an agent. And it leverages OpenAI, Claude, all of these different ones. And they all have strengths over the others. So what it would do is it would just start using the different ones based on their strengths and their weaknesses, and start doing things for you autonomously. So it can build dashboards for you. Bro, it will produce an app for you. It will make an app for you in front of you, and then you can then interfere and pause the screen and then change the prompt and say, no, do this instead, or you can just go in and start doing stuff. It literally is imagine a robot. Imagine your computer just doing things for you autonomously.
Yeah.
That's what it does. You understand?
So it's a Rolls-Royce robot as opposed to like a Datsun robot.
So it's not a robot, but it's like an intelligence on the computer, and it just works independently, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So these guys bought it. Now, what is interesting to me is that this is the first one they bought with Chinese roots.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously there's a whole concern about China having access to like American data. But he says
he's gonna let them go.
Say that again?
He said he's gonna let them go.
Who said that?
Mark Zuckerberg.
What do you mean?
He's gonna let, like, anything Chinese is gonna eliminate.
That's what they're saying, right? But my thing is, but what's the big deal with China? I don't even get it, if I'm honest with you. Like, why
You always need a boogeyman in the room.
Yeah.
Because China doesn't really seem like it's actually really even a threat to America, if I'm honest.
For now.
Bro, China is a struggling country, bro.
You think?
But they don't have any they don't have any in-house resources.
Go to Africa. Go to Africa. You'll change your mind.
Their resources.
Go to Africa. You'll change your mind.
China's resources are all imported, akhi.
You mean natural resources?
Natural resources, right? They import all their food, bro. That can be turned off in a second. China's not in a strong position, bro.
No,
You disagree?
From an import perspective, fine. But Sheikh, in any home, there's a Chinese product. Right?
Yes.
They produce 32% of world's products.
Of all stuff. But in terms of what we're seeing now is a seismic shift in world power. There's a current global world order that was, and I'm not talking about the deeper state and all of that stuff, I'm talking just physically what you see in front of you, where it was Western hegemony over the world policies and resources, as well as economic powerhouse, military powerhouse. If you looked for money and power, you looked up to the West. The days of the West are over. On a couple of podcasts prior, we said these are the last kicks of a dying
Yes.
dog, I think. Maybe you're gonna bleep that. But
No, we don't believe this there, brother.
no, honestly, the days of the West are over, and you're seeing this Eastern bloc of power
Yeah.
that's now coming into play. And I mean, the US confronted China some time back, when the tariff started, to beat them into submission. I don't know if you've seen the reaction of the president. He was like, hey, we've been here for thousands of years
Very
before
composed. Yes.
you. Very confident, composed. We've been here before you. We will remain after you. We don't want to pick a fight with you. But if you pick a fight with us, we'll make sure we end it.
So let me ask a question, yeah? Where is
The strength coming from?
where is all of China's money?
China's money used to be in US,
USD.
in USD. China is very instrumental in BRICS. China is now putting a lot of its money into gold.
But where is most of it still?
Probably still in the West.
US banks.
Yeah.
So they've, for lack of better terms, they've got them by, their mail parts. I'm saying
But
also,
they're creating other avenues, Sheikh. So they're copying the playbook of the West. China is destabilizing countries. They're doing regime change.
Yeah,
Maybe
Bangladesh. Yeah.
you have to.
And that's why I was saying
Bangladesh
Africa,
was-
because
yes,
of the
yes.
amount of financing
Africa.
and leverage
that
they
was
have
that was
over
China?
African
A lot of
countries.
people say that, and there's evidences to believe that.
explain that to me.
Africa is Chinese controlled. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they finance everything in
but that
Africa.
seems to me, I understand China's doing a lot. No one's denying that. But what the argument that I'm trying to make here is that whatever it's doing, it's just cosmetics. If you compare it to the US, I don't understand why such a big deal is made about China. Well, I'm saying right now, if the US wanted to stop China, right? I'm not talking about getting involved militarily. I'm saying, bro, just through just the tariffs, it just that I feel like that was an attempt to try and make it seem like we're putting pressure on China. If you actually want to put pressure on China, bro, you've got all of their money. Number one. Number two, all the countries that export resources to China, bro, that export food to China, you just tell them stop. China's got.
But they all need Chinese goods, Sheikh.
Say
They
that
need
again?
Chinese goods, and
They
China,
need Chinese
China
products.
has bought influence, Sheikh. So the West has had that influence exclusively. That influence has now been shared. If the world goes to war, World War III,
Allah protect us.
I mean,
I mean,
it's you cannot sit today and predict. I mean, I understand you mentioned it earlier about all the air force superiority that the US has. There's no clear winner. You cannot
100% there's
say that
No, 100% there isn't.
the Western bloc's going to win.
No, of course not. Of course not. Of
Key
course not.
power is shifting to the West is on a decline economically, military as well. Sheikh, they maybe have that might and power, air force wise, but ground force they were weaker.
They've not won any ground
There-
wars
there's,
for a long time.
Sorry, China?
US.
They can bomb from the air. They may have a
But one will
good,
make the argument and say, yes, okay, cool. Over a long period of time, they weren't able to manage the insurgencies and they ended up leaving. But every country that they attacked, they destroyed the infrastructure. And none of those countries are stable right now.
but that's by design.
Right? So they can. So it depends on what you use to measure whether they won or not, right? If you say after 10 years they had to leave because they couldn't, do the regime change and establish democracy, and then they were driven out. Yeah, okay, sure. They lost in Afghanistan, lost in Iraq. You can say that. But if you're talking about did they come and absolutely destabilize the country
Yes.
and destroy the infrastructure and put it in a worse state than it was before?
Yes.
Then by those standards, they won.
They achieve their objectives. Yes.
I think, could be completely wrong here, Russia's more dangerous than China.
Yes. But they're aligned. So if the West goes to war with the East,
So that right
China
there,
and Russia is together.
yeah. So that right there, but then
but more dangerous how?
it has more
it's
got more natural
capabilities.
resources,
Oh, okay.
right? They've got the second largest amount of nukes.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay.
They have, their economy has now started to grow since the Ukraine war because they became more creative, right? Since they were sanctioned. So their economy has become more productive.
That's true. Yes.
War has made their economy more productive. They are battle ready. Do you know what I'm saying? Or not battle ready, sorry, they're in battle now, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? The people have woken up as a country. They're more like harmonized, and you know, they have like purpose, and it's the world against us. So the people have the will to fight, the will to thrive. There was a massive alcohol problem in Russia prior to the war. Young men were dying en masse due to alcohol-related abuse. Now they're at work. You know, my point is that it's just all of the causes for concern, and they're angry at the West. They are annoyed. They are at war. So Russia to me seems like the problem. But Sheikh, to come back, America could go to China and say, look, let's improve diplomatic relationships, trade relationships. Don't be with Russia, and then they'd win China over.
China wants the independence. China and Russia have learned that the West over time, there's distrust because the West has proven, or especially the USA, they've proven that they're not a good friend and neither are they a good enemy.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, by default, because as you say, economically they were tied, or for whatever reason, by default, they ended up with some sort of relationship with the West. But in hindsight and by design, if they had to do it again, they would never be so indebted or invested into the West. And they've learned that lesson, maybe a bit too late, but they're making alternate plans.
And US is internally very weak. The internal division that's happening between the right and the left.
Weak.
Yes, wealth disparity and everything. It's very weak internally.
Do you think there'll be a civil war?
Not civil war.
There'll be civil unrest for sure.
Civil unrest for sure. People don't actually trust when a population of a country do not trust the democratic process of voting and things like that. Scary. Because that's the backbone of the country, right?
And the biggest problem in the US, the biggest problem is just affordability. It's the epidemic right now. It's becoming incredibly difficult to just have a normal life, to afford a normal life, let alone unemployment.
Beyond that, I think the population has grown, or has become a bit more wise to the narrative that they were taught initially.
Yep.
So right now, if the US tried to muster up a couple of million soldiers to go to war,
No, it's
ground war.
Yeah.
No way.
The army is not more than 1 million, Sheikh.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
They had to gather the population.
Yeah.
If China had to ask the population
They'll
to come to war,
Yeah.
military and civil.
People don't feel as patriotic. That's what she's
That's the
saying
point.
about America.
Especially the Gen Z.
The man on the
you
street
say
would
that-
not go to war, will not pick up a gun and go to war for this.
You say that now. Do a couple of false flags. Make people believe it. Blame it on the enemy.
No, now their understanding is false.
They
flags.
become
Even
wise.
within them, big
Yeah.
voices like Tucker and these guys that are calling out.
Have an effective one. You know what I'm saying? Have an it's not.
9/11, September 9th,
Do you know what I'm saying?
type of thing.
God protect us. I mean, anyway, I personally think China is not really as big of a threat. Their population's in decline. No doubt they are someone to keep on, but it's just the extent to which they've made it out. You know, it's.
I'll agree with you on
even with the Taiwan thing. Yeah, right. Let's say China invades Taiwan. They've got the semiconductor industry. Just move it to a different country. You could literally take the semiconductor industry, just move it somewhere else. Why make such a big deal over Taiwan?
So the thing is, the US does not want any opposition.
Yeah.
They want singular control.
So this is hubris, the hubris of empires.
And China, so China has no evil threat against, or has no evil intent. They want friendly relations with the US and the Western world. They have no evil intent.
US is
It's
insecure
because-
about Chinese products.
Correct. The US is insecure and
Yeah.
saying, okay, you're becoming a bit too independent now.
Yep.
When I scream, you're not necessarily going to listen.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let me start now calling my friends and let's gang up against you. And that's what's happening. So, from that perspective, I agree with you that China is not a threat to the US. But if it really came down to it, China has has bought sufficient willpower and, influence globally that could collectively pose a serious
That's a fair point.
threat.
No, look, China is a threat. They've got heavy artillery. Do you know what I'm saying? And Pakistan's a threat in that regard. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though technically it's no match for America, but it's like enough damage can be done that it would just not be worth it.
Yeah.
But my thing is just from like a media perspective, the way it's being positioned, it's like, why China? I don't understand why China the boogeyman.
So why Iran the boogeyman? You know, I can ask the same question.
Keep in mind, China is one of those countries.
I understand Iran.
Okay.
But that's a conversation for another day.
But China is one of the countries, is probably the only country they cannot penetrate. They cannot penetrate in the cyber world.
That's also fair.
Completely cannot penetrate at all. Like China does not use a single American product in terms of social media, internet access, etc. So they have nothing on China.
It's the fear of the unknown.
It's the fear of the unknown. Exactly. For them, it's a black hole. So whatever is unknown to them is
very good point.
Even pop culture. Every country has become westernized through pop culture, right? Music and TV. China hasn't. China has introduced their own culture.
I mean, think about it, really. Imagine.
So China is a foreigner.
Imagine, there's a country right there that has over 1 billion in population.
Yeah.
That you have absolutely
no control of.
No control. Zero data on them. Zero. Come on, that is scary.
And you can't influence them.
And you cannot influence them. Zero, at all.
And they import all of your products. Yeah, fair point.
It's scary.
Fair point.
1 billion people, more than 1 billion. I think there's 1.5 billion now.
Yeah.
But you know one thing that I've started to see over the years, over the last 2 years, is how the effectiveness of diplomacy, man. So, okay, win them over. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as in, you can infiltrate. I don't want to go off topic, but you know how you guys allow me to go off topic for a second? It's super interesting.
We're having fun.
So, in World War II, when Hitler came about and he was doing his thing, he was obviously a problem, right? But actually, the greater enemy at the time and the greater cause for concern was the Soviet Union, because they were a direct existential threat to the capitalist democracies that existed. And these communist revolutions were kicking over all around the world. After the Great Depression, there was about to be a communist takeover in the USA. If they didn't get their act together, US was going to become a communist state. Without going into the details, are you familiar with this?
Not familiar.
It was spreading like wildfire, like crazy. Do you understand? So Soviet Union was actually a problem. It was actually a problem. Now, why is it? So, and here's another thing, right? So when Hitler invaded Poland, there was actually a treaty between him and Stalin, which was that we will invade Poland together. The Soviet Union and Nazi Germany invaded Poland together, and the idea was to split it in half, west for you guys and the east for us. So he actually did it together, but Europe declared war only on the Germans. They didn't declare war on the Soviets. And basically the theory is that Stalin was a genius. Right, he was a genius. He played his cards very, very, very smartly. So without going into too many details, I'll just give you one example to kind of show. So basically, Hitler and Stalin were friends. They were friends. They got on. They invaded Poland together. But suddenly, Hitler sends troops to invade Soviet Union. And all of the signs of an invasion were present. They were amassing troops at the border, to the point where Nazi soldiers, they abandoned their armies, crossed over to the Soviet Union side and said, I've just come to let you know they're about to invade you. They are about to invade you. And they were shot and killed. And Stalin did not tell his people to attack. Rather, he didn't even amass enough forces at the border. And the Germans came, they thrashed them, and they went all the way up towards Moscow. Do you understand? And then, after that point, Stalin basically, they started fighting and whatever have you, and so on and so forth. So why did Stalin not listen to those spies? Why is it that they could see the armies lining up on the border that they didn't what? Take action. Why didn't they start amassing troops at the border? They say, and what we were taught at school, was that because Stalin trusted
Hitler.
Yeah. He's like, he's my friend, right? And he was just fooled by his friendship. And the fact of the matter is that just doesn't make sense. Like a guy who literally took his country that had basically never won a war for like 100 years, that was in abject poverty to becoming one of the superpowers of the world. He's a terrible person, you know, but you can't really make the case that he was really that stupid. Do you understand? So the theory is that Stalin understood that if he was to preempt the attack against the Germans, the Soviet Union is already the bogeyman of the world. So that if they did that, everyone would just... America would come and attack, would bring America into the war because let's get rid of the Soviet threat. The Germans, the Nazis and the British would make a pact saying, listen, let's put our differences aside.
Soviet is the enemy.
Soviet's the enemy. Do you understand? So he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bring these guys to me. Rather, I'm going to let them come and let them invade, let them do whatever they do. That will just create more of a problem for the Germans themselves. Because people will see they now see Stalin as the victim, the innocent victim. So that now when they go back
narrative
to attack, we're attacking with the rest of the world. So we're not the enemy anymore. It's Britain, America, and Soviet Union that come and save the day together. Do you understand? So it's like he foresaw that. Now, here's the thing. So then that means Hitler got played.
Yeah.
That means Hitler got played.
Exactly.
And how did he play Hitler?
He just let it happen.
So the theory is that he let Hitler believe he trusted him.
Yeah.
He let Hitler believe that he saw him as a friend.
Yeah.
So Hitler saw him as a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is that America could just do it China. Do you understand my point? It's like
okay.
you.
I see the parallel.
You don't have to be sinister like Hitler was, but you could just humans are humans at the end of the day. Just hey guys, we don't want issues. But it's hubris that gets in the way. It's the arrogance.
But beyond that, what people need to understand is America has. See, it's not the president that calls. Okay, we don't want to go into that debate. You can delete that. But ultimately, there's an industrial military complex. And that's
the problem.
That needs to be fed.
That's the problem.
So they need wars to keep the economy tight.
That's the machine. To keep the machine running, you need war. There's no other way to make sense of it.
See, Afghanistan ended, Ukraine started. Ukraine's ending, Venezuela.
And just so people understand, like what that is that America spends a ridiculous amount of money in its defense budget.
It's part of the GDP. It's part of the spending.
It spends more money than it needs to. Bro, we just established that they've got 4 out of the 5 greatest air forces. Like one country, like all of Russia is number 3. Do you understand? So you don't actually need to. But here's the thing. Those companies are owned by capitalists that want more money, more business.
Raytheon.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I honestly believe, and I read so much into it, that the American defense system, whatever you want to call it, is directly owns or operates all the top companies in Silicon Valley.
Coming to that, Sheikh, you mentioned it previously.
And these people are just puppets.
So just before to make that point, just to lock off this, and then I'll bring you. You know, Eisenhower, what he said in his speech when he was leaving, he said something to the effect of, like, this military-industrial complex, like, watch out for it. It's out of control. He actually said it as a president. So if you try to stop the wars, these guys are too powerful. Sorry, go on.
No, so it's repeating or moving on to what Mohammed's saying. I've read it's very similar, and there is, if someone researches it, there's enough fact to prove some of what you're saying. But beyond that, the military complex is Astaghfirullah. Wait, I lost my train of thought. Just repeat. You were talking about this. The Pentagon.
Yes.
The Pentagon. Do you know for how many years in a row they've failed their audit, the annual audit? They can't account for trillions of dollars each year.
Imagine that. They could not balance their balance sheet. Pentagon.
Why?
The money's like unaccounted.
We don't know where it's going.
The money's
If that
going
happens in
somewhere.
your company, what would you do, Sheikh?
I'll be like, what the hell's going on, bro?
Okay, but
And it's trillion.
We're not spending the money, bro. What are you doing with the money?
you take some action, right?
Yeah, of course. I'd shut it down.
And one of the
But if it happens every year in a row, it's planned.
Under
right?
your watch.
Crazy.
What's the figure? How many trillion?
Trillions for sure. 100% trillions that are unaccounted for does not balance in the balance sheet.
And one of the
Yeah,
biggest,
every
and
year.
one of the biggest and most public one was during the attacks of the 9/11. If you
Yes.
remember,
Yeah.
just disappeared.
So
just
the
trillions of dollars
and they-
disappeared.
The Pentagon is who, by the way? Sorry. This just...
The defense.
It's the defense.
That's
Okay,
the
so they handle the military stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but they also have a lot of money. So what I was saying, and maybe Sheikh Ebrahim can continue on that, is that I truly believe that it's just the Pentagon just operates on two ways: the physical, hard power, which is all the military, industrial companies, etc., and the soft power, which is Silicon Valley. So those two.
Why do they need Silicon Valley?
Oh, what? It's never ending. Data, control, leverage, finance, just the eyes and ears. They know.
Talent pool.
They know where everything is going, the trends, what people are doing, what people are not doing. That's exactly what we were saying, why they're so scared of China, because they have absolutely zero knowledge on anything, on any citizen in China.
If the kind of stuff that we discuss in this podcast, I'm talking about the tax strategies, the deal structures, the real conversations about building wealth the right way. If this is the kind of stuff that you want to be a part of, then this is nothing. We have an entire private network for high net worth and ultra high net worth Muslims. It's called The Cave. I'm talking about founders who've exited for 8 figures, 9 figures. I'm talking about fund managers with unicorns inside of their portfolio, operators who've built billion-dollar companies without a single penny of riba. So what you hear on this podcast, that's just the surface. Inside The Cave, you get the conversations that don't get recorded, the introductions that don't happen anywhere else. A dedicated concierge who finds the exact advisor, tax advisor, lawyer, operator, or even Sheikh scholar who specializes in Islamic finance that you need within 24 hours, inshallah ta'ala. So if this is of interest to you, you can apply, inshallah ta'ala. You can only get in through application or invitation. And most of the applications, they are declined. And the reason for that is because we realize that an effective network is not built based on who's in it, but actually who's not in it. So we really try to protect the integrity and the quality and the standard of those that are inside. So if you feel like you belong, you're a high net worth, ultra high net worth Muslim operator, inshallah ta'ala, and you want to be a part of something like this, then you can apply now at the link below in the description, inshallah ta'ala. And hopefully we see you on the other side. With that said, let's get back into the podcast.